Hello there, beautiful family. It's Gemma here, and I am so happy to be back with you after a wonderful and huge 20 days pilgrimage here in the Andes in Peru. I'm still here in the Sacred Valley. We've been in Peru with our beautiful group for the first 15 days, working in the sacred sites, the temples, the mountains here in the Sacred Valley. I got married in the middle of it all, which was absolutely amazing, totally unexpected. My beautiful partner got down on one knee at the base of my beloved Apu Olsungati, who's the second greatest big love in my life, and proposed. And not only did he propose, but he said, would you do it today? And I was like, yes, of course. And he'd organized it with my Maestro Puma, my brother Alfredo, Alpha, and Rebe, and some of the elders up there in Upwell Sangati, and of course witnessed by our beautiful group. So that was on the 28th of May, and such an incredible surprise for me, and really was a big process in terms of my own personal process, but also collectively what I think that we're moving through at the moment. And it's something to do with these energies that are coming in June. There is many, but one of them, the first one that I wanted to talk about, was about releasing attachment to unfulfilled hopes and dreams. When we have hopes and dreams from our past that haven't come to fruition or haven't been fulfilled, we have a tendency to lose a lot of energy to those past experiences. Even if we think we've let them go, there may be a little piece of us that is holding on to an expectation around something or a desire for something that never actually got followed through to the end. So instead of using our manifestation capabilities to face forward, we lose our energy to the past. So this is a real time of review as we approach the solstice on the 21st of June, whether it's the summer solstice for you in the northern hemisphere or the winter solstice for you in the southern hemisphere. The energies are very, very powerful, potent, and it marks a time of great change, of reflection, and of moving into an entirely new cycle. So the energies are really, really supporting us to clean up and tidy up anything that there may be hanging around from the past. Is always this opportunity, but more and more we're leveling up. Every cycle that we move through, every season that we move through, the messages are really largely the same. If you listen to me or if you listen to anybody else, the information that's coming through is the same, but it's these constant reminders of how willing and courageous are we to really truly liberate and let go of anything that may be chaining us, holding us back, or keeping our energy in the past, rather than giving us the volition to move forward. So having a look at and contemplating, reflecting on, meditating on, and being super honest, really, really honest with yourself about what there is from your past, whether it be recent or perhaps even further back, that was an unfulfilled wish or an unfulfilled dream or an unfulfilled desire. And if there is any sadness around that or any grief around that, to allow that to come up to be felt. If tears come with it, awesome. We don't need to attach any kind of story to it. We just watch the emotion, feel the sensation, and give space for anything that may be unprocessed, that may be unacknowledged, that hasn't been seen, that hasn't been fully given the space and time to be witnessed, to come up and liberate. And what happens when we do that? It is so magical. It's just like picking up the medicine cup that we are and tipping ourselves upside down and preparing us to receive the nectar, receiving beyond what we could ever imagine. When we release those attachments, when we release those expectations, when we release that grief and allow ourselves to bring those cycles completely to a close, then we make space for the most majestic magic in unexpected ways to flow to us. often the mind, usually the mind, will really want to try and grab onto what that is, figure it out. And, in manifestation, the key to that is to, first of all, to know what it is that you're calling in, to be able to vision that, but more importantly, to be able to feel it as though it has already happened, to be giving gratitude for it as though it's already complete. It's like in the ancient times, or even now in some native and indigenous cultures, when the shamans are praying for rain, they're not saying, please let it rain, please let it rain, please let it rain. They're dancing around with their feet wet in the earth as though the heavens have already opened and the rains have come. And that's the way that we want to be manifesting. So really, the key to manifesting is to allow yourself to marinate as much as possible in the experience of that which you want to create. And the energies are very supportive of that at the moment. They're super powerful for that. Again, moving into these solstice energies, there's also, I know, a lot of Mars energy around, which can be amazing for creation and manifestation. And it can also be a little fiery. So we'll talk about that as a second theme in a moment. But what I would encourage you to do is to give yourself 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever it might be a day in the morning when you wake up, or any time of the day. But the morning is awesome because you're fresh, your energy's fresh, and you're setting yourself up to be in your highest possible frequency for the rest of the day. And allow yourself to marinate in the delight of whatever it is you are calling in. I'll give you an example. When I met my partner Lars, that was 7 years ago now, I had not long before unraveled myself from what was a very difficult relationship. And I remember being in Mexico as I was taking some time to sort of recuperate and recover from this experience. And I was sharing a hotel room. In fact, I was sharing a king size bed with a dear sister, a dear friend of mine. We had this hotel room. It only had a king size bed. So we were sharing this bed. And in the morning, I would wake up. She'd be on the other side of the bed asleep. And I would be lying there on my side. And I could not only visualize, but I could feel this gigantic man, this very, very tall man. He had this beautiful olive brown skin. He had this kind of brown floppy hair. He had all of these tattoos. P.S. I didn't know Lars. I didn't know him from a bar of soap at this point. But I would see and feel this man coming in, and he would get into the bed behind me, and this big arm would come around me, and it would like hold on like this, and I would just and fully melt into the feeling of being held by this king, by this divine masculine king. And it felt passionate, it felt sexy, it felt delicious, it felt awesome. And I allowed myself to be in that sensation, to be in that feeling, as though that was really happening, as though there was this man really behind me doing this, without thinking, where am I going to meet him? How am I going to meet him? Who is he? What does he look like? Just simply being in the deliciousness of the moment. It's the same thing if you need to manifest abundance in your life. You need to sit there, and whatever it is you are calling in, like for me, I'm building this beautiful sanctuary in Bali, and it's been an incredible process because I've done it, and I haven't known with each step that I've taken where the money is coming from, but it appears. And it's because I sit there and I feel myself sitting in this beautiful house. I hear the birds singing, I smell the smells, and I just let myself imagine, use the power of this incredible gift that we have been given called the imagination to marinate in these sensations. And what happens when we do that is we teach our body and we teach our central nervous system that that is normal for us, that that is what we expect in our reality. Because many of us, when we're operating from these old traumas, from these old unfulfilled dreams, unfulfilled ideas of where we want to be, and we haven't fully let those go, then we are constantly drawing to ourselves stuff that matches that old way of being. So we need to reprogram and actually train, just like we would train our muscle, our central nervous system to be attuned to this new frequency of whatever it is we are wanting to manifest. And that goes for ourselves personally. And more as we move through this beautiful awakening process together, this is happening on a collective level. So, what we are dreaming in together, this is how the ancients did it. They got together in ceremony and focused their vision, focused their prayer on what they are calling in also for the collective. So that is a really beautiful and big energy and process that's being called forth for us as we move towards this solstice. The other thing with all of this fantastic Mars energy that's really giving us, the drive and the determination and the expansion to move. And I'm no astrologer, by the way. All I know is what I hear, what I feel, what I experience, what I see. And, of course, I hear bits and pieces here and there of the things that are coming in, but I try and keep it as, as in the feeling state as possible of what's wanting to come through from my guardians and my guides and my masters for you and for me. And the other thing is with this energy of Mars, and I've experienced this already this month, we can harness that energy and it can be very productive, but two other things can happen. Number one, if we don't manage it and be very honest about where we're at and take care with ourselves, meaning self-care, there is a tendency that we could burn ourselves out and end up feeling overwhelmed with the amount of change that is coming at the moment. So how do we manage that? It's being really, really honest with how you're feeling, where you're at, being careful of overcommitting to things, being okay to say no, okay to change your mind. If you've said yes to something, that the yes can become a no because the body might be giving you signals that it's too much. And as much as possible, spending time in nature. And if you can't get into nature, we have this amazing thing called our imagination, once again, where we can close our eyes and visualize ourselves in our favorite place in nature that gives us those feelings of serenity, peace, grounding, and calm. For me, I have been spending more time than ever on the grass. I've even been taking my laptop out there, sitting on the grass, working on the grass, wandering around the garden, picking up leaves, simple, simple things to reconnect, to reground us, to keep us anchored and centered to the earth. And not only that, the healing and the nourishment that comes to us from Pachamama, from the earth, is phenomenal. And if there's anything going on in the physical that's coming up, because a lot of energy is moving through, so you might be finding also that you're getting little sniffles and cracks and complaints and weird in the body as the solar flares as well continue to come in, and that photonic energy and that light energy is only ramping up as we get towards the solstice as well. So, all of this you're a conductor of this energy, right? So what does a conductor do in an electrical, in a power point, for example? It has an earth. It needs to ground. It needs to plug in and stabilize and harmonize the energy. So having your feet on the grass, or even better, if you can lie belly down, flat down on the grass, belly to belly with Pachamama, even if it's just for 5 or 10 minutes, let yourself drop and be held completely and just breathe. It will do wonders for you. If you've got something going on in the physical or the emotional, mental body, ask Pachamama to heal it. Breathe the energy in, receive the light of the sun, balance the energies of the masculine and the feminine. Father, Sun, Cosmic Mother, Pachamama, we're always receiving from our true parents. When I was in Bolivia just recently in the Temple of Tiwanaku, we had a beautiful man join us, a local Aymara man called Juan, and he was sharing with us about the process that they go through as the Aymara people to move away from, or not move away from, but to recognize and realize that our mum is different to our mother. So our mum is our beautiful mums, our beautiful mothers, physical mothers, that give us passage to this earth, that bring us through as seeds to this earth on Pachamama, that give, our physical body to our soul and to our essence as star seeds. And our mum's job is to nourish and nurture us for a period of time. But at some point, we have to realize the distinction between that which is our mum that we love with all our hearts and that which is our true mother. And our true mother is Pachamama. Our true mother is Mother Earth. So we need to, again, reconcile anything that may be there in our mother line, anything that might be there with our mums. We need to bring that to completion so that our mums can be free to be who they are, and we can be free to be who we are. We love them, they're in our lives, but again, we're releasing those attachments. Often I see people in my work that are healing a lot of wounds from the childhood or even from the adulthood. And it comes from this kind of projection that the love has to come, and I'm not getting the love, I'm not getting the attention, I'm not getting the, whatever it might be from my mother. We have to realize that our parents did the best that they could with what they knew. And at some point, we need to realize that the love that we're looking for can only come from within us. We need to reparent our own inner child. And if we to receive the love of the true mother, it is through our aini, our connection, our interaction with our Pachamama. She is our true mother. And in that way, when it comes time, even, dare I say, for our mothers to ascend and to leave the planet, of course it's devastating for us, but we also are so joyful that they're able to be free. I mean, this is a very elevated perspective, but it comes from this sense that you're not being left behind, that your mother doesn't leave you behind, because our true mother for all of us is Pachamama. Same goes with the father. The true father for us is the Inti, it's the sun, it's the light of the sun, and we can receive everything that we never received from our physical father from the sun if we allow ourselves to, but we have to be willing to kind of go past this need that we need to it has to come from out there. It's got to come from somewhere else. We access it from within, and this is the beautiful thing about walking a shamanic path and being so in tune with the natural world, is that we understand that for every single person on this planet, our true father is the sun. It's the light of the sun, and that love is available to us at any time. So all these things are really up for healing at the moment. And with that Mars energy as well, we need to be super careful about our actions and our reactions, because as this old stuff, especially around mother, father, especially around these unfulfilled hopes, desires, dreams, around loyalties, are being brought up, that Mars energy can have us reacting, maybe even irrationally, in ways that you might not recognize within yourself and be quite shocked at within yourself, or even be quite shocked at within another. You might have somebody who you have a really beautiful relationship with, and you thought that everything was super smooth and easy and effortless, and then all of a sudden they've been triggered by something and they're reacting at you in a way that's perhaps really unusual. And in that moment, you got to catch it, because you've got two ways of responding. Notice I say responding rather than reacting to that. Either you fire back at them with that Mars energy, how dare you, who do you think, blah, blah, blah. Or you might be like, oof, this is a beautiful person, and something is going on here for them that is really big. This has triggered something very, very deep. So how can I be more compassionate, still with loving boundaries, still being clear about, your own feeling as well in a really loving way, but allowing the space for that person and for yourself to dive into and go into a bit of a messy process maybe around this stuff. And it's so beautiful if we can allow this for ourselves and allow this for each other without being like, you should be more spiritual, you should know better than this, or whatever it is. But by allowing it, then our relationships can become much deeper and richer. And the key when this is happening, when you're going through this, is to know that it's not yours. If somebody is projecting something onto you that they're processing and going through, it's very easy to be wounded and take it personally and start to look at, oh my God, what have I done? You know, what's my part in this, blah blah blah. And there's always something for you. There is always something for you, but there's a skill in discerning what is yours and what's not, and allowing that process, to happen for the other person without taking it on and without attaching it to your story and doing what humans are very good at and saying, it's mine, and making it into, a bigger thing than it needs to be. So it's just having the awareness and also having the compassion and the willingness to support and work with each other on this way. So, beautiful family, take care of yourselves. As I say, make self-care your priority. Give yourself time to reflect on and grieve, if necessary, those unfulfilled hopes and dreams, knowing that you are making the space for absolute magic beyond your wildest dreams to come in, because it is. Hold space for yourself and for each other as the stuff arises. And also, finally, to say, as we continue to see some craziness happening on the planet, I can't say this enough. For us to break through, things have got to break down. When there is massive change, lasting change, great change, monumental change, which is what's happening at the moment, um, the way for that change to occur is chaos. Something, someone, many things, energy, circumstances, situations, political situations on every single level, personal and collective, big energies are going to come in, and they're going to be cataclysmic. And the upheaval, it's like throwing a pile of cards up in the air and seeing where they land. It's necessary for us to emerge anew. So it means that, unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, depending on how you look at it, we're going to continue to see a lot of stuff breaking down around us, and some stuff that is pretty nasty and pretty hard to swallow. Again, like I'm always saying, I'm going to encourage you and me to keep your eye on the prize. Don't watch the news, my loves. It's not necessary. Have a trusted source that will feed to you what you need to know and nothing more. Because if you get your attention swept up in the chaos and swept up in all that which you don't wish to experience, if a lot of us are doing that exact same thing, then guess what? We are only going to perpetuate more of it, and it is going to hold us back from getting to where we all want to be, need to be, and know that we are headed. That is not to say that we ignore the things that are going on, of course not, and we take action where we can, but we want to do our best to stay in our highest frequency and to hold others in their highest frequency also. And that means keeping our eye, I'll say it again, on the prize, and remembering that everything is in service to the light, that everything is happening for a reason, and to bring that compassionate understanding into everything that's going on. So do what you can, sending prayers where you can, and again, using that power of manifestation and visualization, not only for yourself, but for the world that we want to see. Just as you're experiencing your relationship to somebody else or to abundance in your heart and feeling it in your body, see the world like that. If there's a situation that's disturbing you, see that situation like that. Use these powerful energies to come together in groups, organize little meditations if you can, even if it's just you or a group of 5 or a couple of your friends or whatever, and focus your energies on what you want to see, for 5, 10, 15 minutes. It's such a powerful practice. And, to think that you're not making a difference doing that, it's nonsensical, because There is a web of light in the Andean cosmovision. We call it the Teximuyu, and it's this beautiful luminous web, filaments of light like a spider's web that go out from us. They go through the earth, they go into the cosmos, the entire universe. And just like in a spider's web, whatever little movement you make in that part of the web affects the entire web. So all you need to do is be conscious about the movement that you make, and know that when you do this healing work, when you do this manifestation work, you are not only healing and manifesting for yourself, you are doing it for the world. In Aini, in the spirit of Aini, of sacred reciprocity, that nothing goes one way, when you are generous with yourself in what you are receiving and what you are calling in, you don't only call it in for you, you call it in for everyone. You cannot give what you do not have. So the more you can open yourself to receive in these powerful times, and open yourself to the light, open yourself to the abundance, open yourself to the joy, without feeling any guilt or shame around that at all, because there's a lot of other stuff in the polarity that is going on. But if you can stay in that high frequency and fill yourself with that high frequency and retrain your nervous system and your energy field to be stable in that frequency, then guess what? You become the lighthouse. So there's no need to do much at all. Simply in your being, you switch on and you awaken those around you. This is luminous leadership, as I would call it. So that's it from me for now. That's a bit of a download for these beautiful energies from June. Lastly, to say, I do need to say, because I'm hearing them here saying, don't forget us, don't forget us. Remember that there are many great masters that have walked before us. Way beyond what the history books tell us. These are our original ancestors, and these beings have been waiting for these times. These beings have coded certain places on the earth with their wisdom, with their remembering, with all that we need for these times right now. And what they want you to remember more than anything is that you are light, and to sit in that light body and allow those original blueprints, those original codes to be activated. Perhaps I can do a guided meditation for you to facilitate this, that you can do in the morning. In fact, I'll do that, and I'll do another video, and we'll pop a link to it below. Because the more that you can strengthen this remembering, strengthen this light, this wisdom, and these codes, the more effortless your life will be, and the more effortless it's going to be to reach the tipping point of this planet, to flip us over back into return to the fifth dimensional reality and higher, which is the dimension of the heart, which is what we are being so called towards. And this is going to happen quickly, and it's going to happen soon. So we all need to get with the program, the cosmic program, and remember how to do this, so that we can really call this forth and make it much easier for our planet and much easier for everybody. So thank you to these great masters. And the other thing they want me to tell you is, guess what? These great masters were you. It's you that were these great masters. You are the ascended master. You coded this information to be received by you now, and it was your future self that told you to do it. So we're working on a parallel timeline here. So it's nothing outside of you. You have to remember that you are catching up with yourself, okay? Isn't that amazing? You're catching up with yourself. You, at some point, you were put to sleep. Now you're awake, you're remembering, and you're returning to the truth of who you are. Remember that you are existing not only here, but you are existing in a much higher dimensional reality at the same time. And that's the part of ourselves that we want to be accessing for this wisdom, and everybody has this ability to do that. So let's do a guided process and a meditation around that. Okay, my loves, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for being here. I look forward to seeing you soon. I have an apprenticeship beginning on the 1st of August for 3 months, a deep dive apprenticeship into the shamanic arts, into facilitating ceremonial space, and into working with the medicine of cacao. And I would love, love, love to take you on that journey with me. It's a very profound, life-changing, deep dive shamanic apprenticeship. and very authentic in its traditions. We have the most amazing masters joining us for that as well. So if that interests you, please just click the link below and you can check out more about that. And bye for now. And as we say in the Andes, Tupananchis Kama. It means forever and always. And see you soon.